What is up, little Zouplets? Hope you all are having a wonderful time. World of Warships has announced developments for 2017. If you haven't taken a look at their website yet, I'm going to give a rundown of them and tell you what I think of each one of these little nuggets of information they provided for us. Things that we can expect to see in the coming months and the next year. So, at the very top of the page, you see German destroyers. This obviously is no surprise. We've known for a while that they're coming. You've probably seen them out there. Yes, those highly frustrating and annoying German destroyers that seem to be firing at you out of nowhere with powerful guns. Yes, they are head of the line, and they are going to be a very interesting class. Can't comment on them anymore right now because they are still in the testing phase, and that wonderful three-letter acronym NDA is still in place. But if any of you have come across them, you probably know how they play. I, for one, am happy to see this line in the game. We've almost got an entire tech tree for the Germans. We've got their cruisers and obviously their battleships being the most recent, and they're a lot of fun. So I think we're at a point in the game where we're finally starting to see completeness. We've got full lines for a lot of the different nations now, and that is something to be very, very happy about. So, let me know what you all think about the German destroyers, and if you're excited for them, I'm going to move on to the next destroyers. And these are the Soviet destroyers. I'm a little surprised here, to be honest. This one kind of took me by surprise. I was not expecting more Soviet destroyers. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name of them. All I know is one of them looks like Smelly, and one of them looks like Neuter Shimmy, which, yeah, that's not even close. So apologies there. And plus there's a Project 56. I would imagine that these are probably going to get split like the IJN line. Now, my opinion on this happening at all, I am really not a fan of this. You know, there's so many other ships we need in game. There's so many other ships that are missing right now. So many other nations that are missing. We have nothing from Italy yet. We only have one ship from France. We don't have Royal Navy battleships yet. There's just so much missing right now. And to add more Russian destroyers, to me, I get it. You know, the game is Russian made, and you're probably trying to appease your base fans, but by doing that, you're overlooking so much, and you're kind of slighting the rest of everyone else. So, not only that, the website says, we're happy to highlight the history of the Russian Navy with an alternate branch of the best Soviet destroyers of the Cold War era. The Cold War era? Really? So we're moving from World War II, and you're going to throw ships in there from the 50s and 60s? Now, to me, that implies that these ships are probably going to be pretty powerful. I'm not going to say overpowered yet, because obviously we haven't seen them, and I'm sure there's probably ways to keep the balance there, but, you know, why break from the tradition of World War II? Yeah, I know there's a couple ships in here that came in at the tail end of World War II and the early 50s. You know, you've got ships like the Saipan, and you've got the Des Moines class. So there are ships in there that aren't strictly from World War II. They came a little bit after. But you're saying the Cold War era? This is kind of an odd move in my own opinion, and I don't know if I'm totally down with it. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to turn my nose up at new ships in the game. Any new ship is a good ship, but for me personally, I think there are a ton of other ships out there that I much rather see right now than a bunch of more destroyers, no less Russian destroyers that we know how they're going to play. They're going to be extremely fast, and they're going to be extremely annoying, like the Cabby, which, you know, until it was nerfed, was the scourge of the seas in the high tiers, and it's still very, very potent. So I'm not going to waste any more time on this. There you have it. Soviet Destroyer Branch update coming. Probably another tier split. We don't know yet. We'll find out more later. Moving on. Clans are coming. That's an obvious one. Anyone who's been playing has probably seen those wonderful gray names next to players like myself or anyone else out there. Yes, those are clans. According to World of Warships, they state, we're also testing clans of World of Warships, which will have a different setup than the clan systems in our other games. Next year, clans can compete with each other, earn in-game items, and play in unique battle scenarios. Cool! I've got no problem with this. I've been looking forward to clans. I'm sure the rest of you have been looking forward to clans as well. This is kind of interesting in a way because that throws a huge question out there. Kind of an elephant in the room. What is going to happen to team gameplay? Has Warships just completely scrapped teams? And for those of you that are newer and maybe you don't know what I'm talking about or weren't a part of teams, you had those 7-on-7 battles that were locked at certain tiers. Are those just gone? Have those gone the wayside? I mean, my team, we did pretty good. We climbed the ranks, we won a lot of battles, we lost very, very few. And it seems like at this point it was all for nothing. I mean, we didn't get anything out of it. We didn't win any awards, no flags even. So, with the inclusion of clans, the question now is, are we going to lose teams? And I don't know how I feel about that, because I kind of like the teams. I didn't like the queue times. The queue times are what killed team battles. I mean, waiting 20 minutes to get in against a team that you played 20 minutes ago, that was not fun. And I'm sure clans are probably going to alleviate a lot of those issues, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with teams and how clans are actually implemented into the game. But that's one more thing that I know we can all look forward to and agree is something that the game really, really needs. So I'm pretty much looking forward to that. Another thing that the website mentions is Commanders 2.0. Website says, we'll be revamping the existing commander skills and adding more in 2017. Get ready to customize your experience even more. Well, it looks like we're moving down from 5 captain skill tiers to only 4. I know that something was published by, well, I don't want to say who did it to give them credence, but you saw a leak a while ago. And speaking to Pigeon of War at Let's Battle, he said not to pay too much attention to that because it was going to be completely different from what's actually happening. It's probably not the same. A leak is a leak nonetheless, so we all knew this was coming. And if you actually look at the graphic on World of Warships, it looks like certain things have been moved around, jumbled up, and I don't know if that is indicative of what we're actually going to get as far as the skill tiers go, or if that's just a placeholder graphic. But it'll be interesting to see how this works out. All I hope is that this makes things even better, makes the gameplay even better, more exciting. The interesting thing is, on the graphic that they have provided, it looks like there is another warning symbol, and I don't know if they're taking away situational awareness again from us. I kind of liked having that available to everyone at no captain skill cost, but I see a little crosshair with an exclamation point, so maybe they're putting that back in there. I don't know. I guess we will find out soon enough. Who knows? Next on the list are heroic and historic commanders. This is something I've been asking for a very long time. I've asked on Reddit. I've asked elsewhere. I think I've even mentioned in a previous video. I want to see historic commanders. I want people like Bull Halsey in there, Nimitz, the lesser-known individuals like Captain Ernest Evans, who commanded the USS Johnson during the battle off Samar. I've wanted this for a long time, so I'm excited about this, and I'd love to see something implemented where these captains bring certain skills into the game. So I think this can be really fun if they put it in there and implement it the right way. It can be really cool, and I've got no issue with this. Hey, put me in the game, Wargaming. I'd love to be a heroic commander. All kidding aside, no one wants me on their ship, really. But no, this is really cool, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad they're doing this. Now, another interesting thing. They're saying that after the success of the Halloween battles that more PvE is coming, and one of these events is going to be a Convoy Mode. Now, this is something that has been kind of hidden in the game files for a very, very long time. We've known that they've been thinking about this back even from the closed beta days. So the fact that they're actually finally getting around to putting this into the game should be no surprise to anyone. And I think this is going to be really, really cool. Escorting a tanker or some other form of ship and keeping it safe. It's going to be really neat. It's going to add a new dimension to PvE, and it's another game mode to play. That's cool. We all want more game modes. And I would imagine that this is a test bed, and depending on how this goes, you might see this in PvP, which ultimately, I think that's probably the goal. I don't know for sure, but I can only assume. And if they do put that in PvP, I will be a very happy person, because right now there's some game modes in there that I'm just not happy with. I'm not happy with the Bastion mode. I'm not happy destroying forts. Those rounds are just absolutely not fun when I get in them. So this is really, really cool. Lastly, Wargaming states that there's going to be a depot. What is a depot? A new spot to store your supplies and consumables. And that's all it says. So I don't really know what they mean by that. I guess when you sell a ship and all your consumables, not your consumables, but your extras and your modules are taken off, I wonder if it's just going to give you a place, kind of like in World of Tanks, where you can see stuff a little more easily. I suspect that's probably what it is. It's probably not going to be something really, really big. It's not going to be earth-moving and game-changing, but just another sign that they are moving forward, moving in the right direction, and that we're getting more stuff in 2017. So there you have it. I mean, a lot of cool stuff coming the way in 2017. Some stuff I rather not come our way, but you know, ships are ships regardless, and I'm sure there's going to be a ton of premium ships coming out soon. So guys, let me know what you think. Tell me what you think about these changes coming our way in 2017. Leave comments, let me know just your overall opinions of this. Let's discuss this, because some of these are very, very interesting, and they do add a new dimension to the game, and some of these are kind of a little tired at this point, I think. So, anyhow, guys, thanks for listening, and take it easy. I am out.